Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Lali-Ho League. We are in the bracket stage, and we are looking at a best-of-3 match between Gambit and Nightdew. This is going to be game number 2. Nightdew has taken the first one, and so Gambit is definitely going to be trying to keep going tonight. And I'm Rex Raoul. I'm joined in the booth by Bad Karma. Bad Karma, what are you looking forward to seeing in this exciting race?
I am looking forward to seeing some rudeness. I'm looking forward how these runners handle the bracket flags, because with the recent change, we're now in the bracket stage. We have a number of flag changes. We don't have that T Wildish flag on it anymore. We're T Pro, and we're going to be struggling with some gil, because anything we find we can only sell for 0 gil, and the treasures that would normally have gil will also have 0 gil. So it'll be really interesting to see how our runners will handle, doing their shopping, considering that our kits have changed, the treasures have changed, and another big one, we don't have any duplicate characters.
Yeah, I just imagine the Pawn Stars meme of just best I could do is 0 gold on anything that you're offering. So you got to be very cautious with what you buy. The runners will be given a small stipend at the beginning of the game, and they still get gold for defeating battles, both regular encounters and bosses. But still, the amount of money that they'll have access to is so much less. And with the pricing of the valuable J items, and as well as good equipment, there's not a whole lot of that to go around.
Yeah, and it looks like we have some interesting objectives too, as we've got them up here. Peace is never an option. There's a rake in a lake somewhere we got to find. If you mess with the honk, you get the bonk. Oh, as somebody's decided to update these as I was reading them off. But as usual, we're gonna have to forge the Coco Sword. One of the big changes, though, this is the original flag for this, so we're not gonna get an Excalibur when we forge this Legend Sword with the Adamant this time around. Coco's gonna be mean. Keep the sword. That Excal is now in the key item pool, so it can be in any of the key item locations. As usual, gonna complete Cave Magnus, do the harp, trade away the pink tail, and we're also gonna be hunting for some dolls and looking for that aforementioned paladin.
Yeah, and remember, 4 out of 5 objectives are required to get the crystal to transform Zermus into a defeatable boss. So one of these can be avoided, but all the other 4 have to be completed before the end of the seed. And Porum is the starting character. What do you think about Porum there, Bad Karma?
Porum's definitely not what you want to see when you start. You want to have somebody that can do a little bit of oomph. She's very gear dependent early on. That being said, though, she does learn exit relatively quickly, so that can save you some money on not needing those exits. Those are not cheap to get in and out of dungeons a whole lot faster. I'd really like to see her maybe paired with Palom, a Sid, or even a Kane early on, just to kind of get through some of these early bosses.
Yang, because it looks like that's what we get as we start. Oh, and there are those Calbrena that we need to find for objective number 4. So once that Baron key is in our possessions, then our runners can head back into Baron and complete objective number 4.
Yeah, and with a Yang start, that's a rough one to have. Yang is a very serviceable character. Needs levels though. Needs some strength gear to kind of get him going, get him punching hard. Really serviceable later in the game, gets a nice HP pool, but not gonna be a whole lot of help right off the bat.
Another thing that's interesting is depending on which claw he has equipped at the beginning of the game, because under the Sineki flag, it's going to be a random piece of gear. But if that is an elemental claw which matches the elemental weakness of a boss early, then that could really propel you through a fight as well. Looks like we got some divergence right away. Gambit looking for a character up at Mount Hobbs, whereas Nightdew decides to go and loot the waterway for some gear and some items. Finds a Starveil. Pretty nice pickup there.
Yeah, Starveil is always nice. We've seen this play by a number of runners throughout the event. Watery Pass on T Pro has a good propensity for some loot. Gambit, meanwhile, is wanting to see if he can find that Cecil quickly, even if it is the Dark Knight version. That can add a little bit of power, because just needs a black sword.
But it is a Kane up here, and yet another Yang. This one of the Karate Man Evil variety. No way to cheese it by the quick kill by just hitting him with Paladin Cecil after the second kick. So going to have to just fight up the whole time. But with Kane in the party, that adds a little bit more oomph with the jump command able to do quite a bit here.
Yeah, and Gambit's already doing some power hits as well. There's not a lot of health here. I don't think he will have any issue getting through this karate fight. Threw out a slow as well, just to give him some time in between these punches and kicks.
Oh, and Nightdew getting rewarded for this watery pass. He finds a third Poison Claw, as well as a defense sword. So Yang's going to have pretty good gear for the start of the seed, as well as if Nightdew decides to go to Mount Hobbs and finds that Kane, getting a defense sword for him is just going to be really good.
A huge pickup, arguably Kane's best weapon based on attack power and accuracy combination. Early game, that Kane is going to be swinging hard, and he's not going to be taking a whole lot of extra damage in these fights.
Gambit now has completed that battle. Forum did not get the experience in this, but the experience points at this point are a little bit not as important as some of the ones later. Finds a diamond ring in the one chest that's people frequently check after that fight. That's going to be a nice little piece of gear for your back row characters like Forum.
Yeah, since we don't have the dwarf kit on, we're not getting a whole 10 set of rune rings. We don't get a whole lot of gear with these random kits on. So getting things like diamond rings and diamond armors are really going to make some of these easier fights not punch as hard, as Gambit is actually fading Antlion as well, heading right over to Fabul.
I think maybe with Porum being knocked out, Gambit might want the free heal that you get before and after the fight at Fabul, before heading into Antlion. So that might be the plan here. But this just might be his routing choice as well.
Yeah, as you've noted earlier, Gambit is down one win, so he needs to win this one and the next one to be able to move on into the best of 32 round. And if you're curious, though, that third match is scheduled immediately after this match. So if Gambit wins, we're going to be having a double header on our hands tonight with some from Late Night Free Enterprise, as these two would just go ahead, turn right around, and race again.
Gambit finding Val as the Fabul defense boss. Probably glad that he picked up Kane just in case here. Meanwhile, Nightdew is going to get that Kane, again, rewarded by having that defense sword. So this fight is probably going to go a little bit smoother for Nightdew having that extra gear advantage than it did for Gambit.
Yeah, Valvalis at any spot can be really can be kind of a pain. And also to note, though, we do have the flag on. That would mean that this is not our logical path to Underground. Valvalis is one of the three characters that can gate that access. So if we find, say, a hook here, we know that there's a magnet key out there somewhere else.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's just something that the runners at this level in the bracket stage are probably very aware of that logic. So that's something to keep in mind. Not that if the hook is found that they won't go over to Cave Magnus, of course, or excuse me, Cave Evelyn, of course, because you do get a very good gated shop in there. Looting if you want to do that.
Yeah, and with that character check, that could be a Fu, that could be an Edge there being gated. We're also still looking for the Cecil. We've only seen one character check so far. So we do want to be checking these character spots until we find the Cecil, get that.
That's a good point, too. The fact that there is a character in there makes it even spicier. Now, if we hadn't already seen where the Calbrena is, there's also two bosses in there, but... Well, it looks like, unfortunately, Forum's going to be lacking some experience from this fight as well on Gambit's side, as it looks like the White Mage has been turned to stone by Valve.
Yeah, that's rough, too, this early. Haven't had any heal potions found or anything like that. So not going to be able to get her back up to get this XP. As Kane continues to just jump away, I believe he's rocking a flame spear or fire sword. So doing serviceable damage, but it is going to, whenever Nightdew decides to tackle this fight, it's going to get through it a lot faster with that defense sword.
Yeah, that fight went sour. Despite having Kane for the jumping, it's just going to be too powerful. This is kind of a sneaky, difficult spot for characters that are low level like these ones at the beginning of the game. If the characters were geared out like Nightdews are for doing that looting of the watery pass, that might have been just the edge that would be needed in order for Gambit to defeat that. But lacking that firepower, it was just not enough damage to get done in time, and Valvolus took the team. Now decides to go to Antlion instead. Might as well go somewhere where you could go, right?
Yeah, and really just wants to try and get some XP on this form. Skipping all the loot, there was a couple of samurai pieces here in Antlion that some gloves and armor that would have really lended itself. He did get the samurai armor. So that's going to really beef up Kane's defense for if Gambit decides to take on that Val, as we get a Pale Dim.
Pale Dim, probably... It's kind of tough because whenever you see a Lunar Sparkle, you're a little bit scared because it could be that Wyvern, and then you've got to think, oh, am I set up for preparing against the opening Mega Nuke? And then you see Pale Dim, and it's like, well, okay, I can handle it on the one hand, but on the other hand, I could probably handle Pale Dim even at difficult boss spots, and I'd probably rather see it there than here. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Nightdew rewarded with the hook, though, for completing the boss, and that is a very nice pickup.
Yep, as we said earlier, character check, that could be our way underground as well. So a number of rude things could be waiting for our runners in that hook route. There's 2 bosses along the way there that it can be a little bit higher level than your normal overworld attractions that we're going to be running into. So I don't think Nightdew is going to rush headlong in there other than probably to grab that character.
That's an interesting routing choice, though. Do you take the time right now to grab that character? It looks like he is because it's going there before doing the other overworld checks, or do you wait until you know it's a hook route to go there, or before you go underground? You know, we do have, it looks like 2 sirens from our starter kits here, so you might want to just wait and get that character for when you're going to do maybe an egg or 2 to grind up a little bit. I don't know, it's a tough choice, but it looks like the fact that there is that character hunt, I think, might propel them towards the character anyways.
And there's a chance, unlike where we had Highway to the 3-Miss Zone, Fusoya is on in this flag set. So if Fu is here, there's only going to be 2 characters missing from the entire roster. And so the chances of getting a Fu in a seat are pretty high. And if he's here, you want that Fu as early as possible, especially if you're going to be doing 3 bosses on our deals, the 2 bosses in Baronet. He's just going to make those so much easier.
That was quite a loaded item shop in Evelyn, as we saw Bacchus Wines, Hourglass Twos, and Silk Webs, 3 premier items that our runners are going to be looking for. And Nightdew bought what he could. We've talked about the limited funds that we have in this race at the beginning of this, at the beginning of the broadcast, but Nightdew picking up what he could, and gonna remember that for later when he might have a little bit more money in the reserve after defeating more bosses.
Yeah, all 3 of those items are must pickups for a seed, in my opinion. You want to be getting those Bacchus wines so that you can have Berserkers early and often. You want to get those Hourglasses. There's a number of bosses where you can use those on, as we're getting a Palom here in the hook route.
Yeah, Palom just needs about 1, maybe 2 fights if it's really low experience to get those level 2 elemental spells to really be a powerhouse in the overworld. And that might be the added firepower needed for somebody like Gambit to defeat that Valvolus.
Yeah, Mom Bomb, though. So I've been on record before. Mom Bomb is my least favorite boss fight in this game. The extra 10,000 health on there, no matter where it's at, is just annoying to me. I hate seeing Mom Bomb pop up everywhere. So having that in the hook route, it's not terrible, especially if we can find this Cecil to kind of do some cover strats. But yeah, not a fan of that Mom Bomb at all.
You see, Gambit taking a look at the weapon shop in Evelyn as well. Cat Claws, Ice Claws. Those elemental claws are very nice things for Yang to have. If he could get the full set of 3, then he becomes really good because he can swap out at a moment's notice based on what boss weakness we've got there. And they're also relatively inexpensive compared to a lot of the other gear that you're looking for.
Yeah, as Gambit found the Staleman chest early, Nightdew's going to find that as the last chest and going to have to redo all this looting. That's going to be really interesting in terms of see if Gambit will be able to do some catch up. I'm sure he's probably going to finish looting Evelyn Cave on his way through, though, once since he knows where that monster in the box is.
Yeah, it looks like Nightdew was playing the percentages and just stopped opening chests at a moment. Like, I don't want to redo this. I like what I got. Let's just get out of here now. And I can't blame him for that. If this ends up being a hook route, after completing a lot of the checks on the overworld, that Staleman chest might be one that he wants anyways. So we'll see. If it ends up being a hook route, he might check that again to get a possible high-tier loot there.
Yeah, Gambit found a Blizzard Spear there. That's going to be a really nice upgrade for Kayn. And to your point, Nightdew having the restraint there, that is a chest right there that Gambit just passed. I struggle with skipping personally. My inner loot goblin says, hey, you just walked by it, just turn right. Ooh, another Siren for Gambit, though.
Yeah, pretty nice pickup there. Only 2 to the start. So you've got to use them wisely.
Yeah, even if we find them in a shop, Sirens are not cheap. They're 4,000 a pop. So with how stacked that Evelyn shop was, our runners are not going to have a whole lot of money after that.
You see Nightdew going to the Baron Inn, sees a duplicate twin there. I believe that was another Palom. But we've got no dupes on, so no additional character this time around. Bahamut, the first boss, goes down easy. The first boss has very low HP, so that was not scary. The second boss is going to be what determines how difficult this boss location is.
Yeah,
it's Dr. Luge, so probably not going to be that bad.
Yeah, unfortunately, you want to see, a character that you're going to have 5 characters going up ordeals or through the hook route. Since we have no dupes on, just one set of twins is all you're getting tonight.
And that makes trying to pilot a team, if you like something like full reflect strats at the Zeramus fight, a lot harder to do in this environment because you can't double up on that Palom or something like that. Especially like Fuxia, who we've talked about a little bit already. Only going to be one Fuxia, if that.
One Fuxia is all you need, though, Rex. Why would you need 2?
Hey, I've done apple seeds with 5 Fuxias, so it gets nice to have a lot of them. But one is very powerful as well. Dr. Luge putting a twin to sleep, that's not going to make it very effective in battle there.
Yeah, with this being the split health fight, I believe this is like a 40% chance for this form, and the other 3 have the rest of it split. Gonna go down pretty quickly. No XP at this spot, so not worried about it, and gonna see what this key item is.
It is the Pan, a very interesting one. This is one, we'll see if Nightdew wants to do the old Fade for Bull to try to do it all in one in one shot now that the Pan is in hand. Plus, he's got a way underground at this point. There is the possibility of a Magma Key being around, though, and that Magma Key is a much faster way to the underground than that Mom Bomb fight.
Yeah, I would honestly maybe, even though I've got that Pan, maybe try and take that Val fight. Nightdew hasn't been there yet, but if I was if Magma Key's there, ooh man, you save yourself a ton of time.
And with other fights under the having been completed, more gear found, more characters, that Valvelus is going to be a lot easier even for Gambit, even if he doesn't have that defense sword that Nightdew has in his arsenal.
Yeah, found a Dragoon Shield on the way up ordeals. That's a nice find for Kayn. Already had an Aegis Shield, but this Dragoon Shield gives some of those elemental protections that a number of our bosses like to use on us.
Indeed, a lot of the scripts that the bosses have are elemental based, so it's nice to have some resistance to that. Up at the top of Mount Ordeals, Nightdew runs into the Rubicante sprite. See if it's him or the elements. And it is Rubicant himself. So this first fight isn't as scary, but still that single target glare is going to be pretty tough to take, except for maybe with that Dragoon shield if it targets Kane.
Yeah, this is has an Ice Claw and Yang as well, so this fight is not long for this world. But as we were speaking about fights that do have elemental properties, even with the Dragoon shield, I don't think Kane will live through that glare.
Yeah, it would be what 50% less, so it'd be so it would be like still, but that Ice Claw does quick work of Rubicant, so not too scary. Able to get Palom back up to get the experience for the fight too, so that was really good at the end as well.
Yeah, is now armed with those level 2 spells, so gonna be able to knock out most bosses in these early goes that have elemental weakness. And there is our D-Mist bonus round on Ordeals.
Yeah, always a relief to find the D-Mist, so that'll be off the table as well. Once you defeat D-Mist, you can return to Mist Village and get a potential key item from Rydia's mom in the village square. So, and it always has to be the D-Mist, so it's not a random boss, but you never know where you're going to find it. So it's always a relief to find it early like this.
Yeah, with this flag set, we do want to be finding this D-Mist. It has a key item chance available, so this is going to be really good for Nightdew and Gambit when he decides to make the climb up Ordeals as well. Ooh, unfortunately, missed the jump.
We see a rare Balnab Z sighting over on Gambit's screen. And this second spot punches really hard as you see one-shotting each of the twins. So here comes the explode part. So might be down to just one character for the real fight, whose laser attack is going to be pretty strong. You got to... Yeah... Ooh, that's smart. Using a Star Veil here makes sense.
Yeah, the laser can be reflected back at Dr. Luge, which is really nice, and good protection. That's a good heads-up play by Gambit, recognizing the situation and using one of the Star Veils. We found a couple in the seed already, so won't have to necessarily buy one later.
And Nightdew has taken care of D-Mist. One more boss up here on Mount Ordeals, and we get a key item check. And then whenever we do find that Cecil, he will be a paladin.
Yeah, everybody wants Paladin Cecil. Well, most everybody does. So especially even though we have the no max tier, the max tier flag on that says tier 7 items are not going to be in chests. They still can be in trap chests, so we're going to start hitting, once we hit the underground, a number of spots that do have trap chests. So if we get this Cecil early on, maybe find a Crystal Sword, then I'm sure our runners will be really happy to find that.
Nightdew rewarded with a Heroine Robe up at the top of Mount Ordeals. No key item, but a pretty good piece of gear. It reduces the white and black magic stats, but greatly increases strength and agility. There's a couple of good uses for it. You can tweak one of your female characters to be really strong with physical attacks. And also, because it's boosts the agility so much, you can use it to kind of manipulate your white wizard to going first to throw on like a berserk or a blink right away at the beginning of battle. So there's a couple of really good uses for it, and it's always something that's nice to have in the arsenal.
Yeah, that's going to be really nice too because of the high defense on the Heroine Robe. So against that Mom Bomb, for example, throwing that on Porum, not a terrible idea. If you can get her going fast, she can get blinks up faster to protect against the punchiness of the Mom Bomb, and then also be able to take a hit herself with the naturally high defense of the Heroine Robe.
That's a good point. I mentioned all that, but it is also really good with defense too. So it is an endgame piece of gear for sure. Very nicely found here. It's just, if you want to use your white magic, your white mage for healing, you probably want to unequip that before a fight like that. So the Cure Force will be a lot weaker with the Heroine Robe equipped.
And let's see, where is Nightdew? Oh, going to turn into Demus. That is a good move. You do not want to forget that check. Everybody's done it. I've done it.
Oh yeah. Oh, that is huge.
I checked that right away. Again, that could still have a Magma Key.
Absolutely.
I think definitely check that before going underground.
Yeah, you might still do Fabul first, but I would go there pretty soon, yeah. Definitely before going underground, for sure. Gambit now up in Mount Ordeals. And since we're still early in this broadcast and our runners are kind of overlapping in things that we've seen so far, just want to give a quick shout out to our restream team. We do have Asuka on the restream itself and Scythe Marshall doing the tracking, pushing those buttons. Big shout outs to both of them because without them, we don't have a show.
Yeah, and if you haven't done so, please give our runners a follow. They are putting on a great race for us here to be calling tonight. So give them some love, give them some follows. Check them out. They are both, still in these brackets, running practices. So if you like watching Free Enterprise, give the runners a follow as well.
Nightdew now getting the bad news that Valvalis is guarding Fabul or attacking Fabul right now because we're defending against her. But a lot more in the arsenal for Nightdew than when Gambit first came in there. So I think we'll have a little bit better of a hand. That Kane's still pretty nice. Ooh, that jump with the defense sword doing over 1,000 damage, enough to take out the Tornado Lady.
Yeah, Nightdew is right now thinking, man, I hope this is a Magma Key.
For sure. For sure. But instead it's a rat tail, and that's another one that could be the Magma Key. We have the hook, so we can check that rat tail right away.
Yeah, that's an interesting pickup. That chain can lead right through there. So, delaying the trip through the hook route, but I think it's a smart move to probably check that out. I would almost even check it maybe after the twin harp.
I think that timing is kind of inconsequential. I think both of them are on the table, though, to be done before checking that hook route. At least that's the way that I'd route it, and it sounds like it would be the same way that you'd route it too, Bad Caramel.
Yeah, you can make an argument either way. Either way, you're moving the hovercraft twice if it ends up being a hook route. So, gotta save the frames. We're going fast.
But it's like the potential speed versus that. Oh, the pink tail! Wow. Pink tail required for objective number 3. And you get a crystal sword. Ooh. With a Cecil looming at objective number 5, Nightdew's got to be very happy to. On the one hand, got to feel very happy to find that, but on the other hand, knowing that this is all stuff that's going to be very easy for Gambit to find as well. This isn't going to give him a huge advantage over his fellow runner tonight.
Yeah, and really, this is that is one of those things like you love to find it, but you know that it's in a required location, in a spot that your opponent's going to also check. So it's just a matter of, did they already go to Fabul? Did they already find this?
Yeah, it's like it's not a random trapped chest that produced that crystal sword. It was the turning of the pigtail, which is objective number 3, by the way. So.
But Nightdew's going to be heading right into Cave Magnus, going to be doing this Twin Harp. If you are new to Free Enterprise, we randomize a lot of aspects of this game, but we do keep a number of vanilla things. The sequence that we're about to experience is in the vanilla game where Edward gets out of bed, walks over to his harp and starts playing to weaken the boss here to allow us to beat him. But we do randomize the harp tune that Edward plays, and it can be from other RPGs, other Final Fantasies, other pop culture references. There are well over 200 different songs done by, majority of them done by our community member Calamity. Xenocat, I believe you're out there, has also done a few. I don't know if anybody else. I'm sorry if you have contributed. Thank you as well. They're all fantastic. And
Board did some of them himself too. Boardface, did some of the original ones. So
yeah, so once we get through this original Dark Elf sequence, we will probably shush for a bit and let's see what this tune is.
yeah, the fastest way to get through this fight is to have all your characters knocked out or paralyzed at the beginning, as you see Yang punching himself, because it doesn't matter if the Dark Elf script goes full. As soon as everybody is unable to act, goes into that perished in this scene. So as my co-commentator just mentioned, we're going to be quiet a little bit because it's time for DJ Spooty B's Rockin' Tunes. A sweet version of the NES Batman first stage music. Great tune there. Like some of those, just the method that they use to do the music of the NES really translate well to the harp, and that was really nicely done there.
Yeah, and just getting a white spear, that's gonna help Gambit a lot more than it will Nightdew, since Nightdew has that defense sword we've been talking about. But is the lead that Nightdew has gonna, really shrink any though, as that power levels out?
That's a good point. The other thing is that I think that Baigen fight there at that spot is going to be a lot more difficult for Gambit without having that premier weapon for Kane, because that was what did a big chunk of the damage in that fight as well. Because people who are familiar with Free Enterprise might know that spot right there is notorious for having very high magic defense. So those spells that Palom has been doing, or if it's both the twins, if you're doing twin magic, it just isn't as effective in that spot as it is in so many others. So that's going to be something that's going to be a challenge for Gambit, because Baigen's just a tough boss, almost wherever you find him.
Yeah, very fast, very punchy, with three things, the two arms and Baigen himself that can hit, definitely can be rude in a lot of spots. And when you can't do a lot of AoEs, those arms are going to be a nuisance unless you take them out really quickly. But it looks like, hey, we are diving into this hook route.
Yeah, with that being just the white spear, all of exhausted now for looking for the Magna Key in the overworld. So we know that we do need to go through the Evelyn to get to the underworld. We know that we're going to have to fight that mom bomb in the Rubiconte spot.
Yeah, and before there, we do have something in the King Queen spot. We haven't seen that yet. Do want to do a quick welcome to the group from Dusty Your Stream. We do have a Lali-Ho League bracket match going on right now. Nightdew is up 1-0 against Gambit as they are competing to move into the best of 32 round.
Currently, Nightdew's about one check ahead of Gambit. Gambit's just about to turn in that red tail, which will give him the pink tail, and then we'll go to Cave Magnus to fight that Baigan. Meanwhile, Nightdew is just that much ahead and is going to the underground right now.
Yep, so Gambit's about to get this, get his objective number 3 lit up. Is a Twin Harp check behind. Just wondering, where is this Cecil at?
Yeah, all so we've got a couple objectives done really quickly, but we don't have either part of the Forge quest. We don't know where Cecil is, and we know that where Calbrain is, but we haven't seen the Baron key yet.
Ooh, Magus Sisters and King Queen. This is not terrible. Because that HP, there's only 6,000 health total here, so this HP is split between them. But they are going to be fast, and they are. And as we can see, Mindy's already doing a Delta attack.
Yeah, luckily this is a place known for strong physical attack rather than magic attack, so the Delta attack not as formidable as it could be in some other things. Nightdew found some this Gaia drum in an early check, so making good use of that there. Remember inventory and using it in an appropriate place like this, that's the sign of a good runner right there.
Yep, getting Kane swinging, has the Gaia drum out, so is probably going to get through this pretty quickly. That'll be interesting to see if Nightdew decides to save or not after this fight. I personally would, because, as I said earlier, don't like the Mom Bomb that we have after this fight.
Yeah, I think a save is appropriate. I would not want to do this Mega Sisters fight again as two of the characters. Ooh, turning into a much more difficult fight than it originally thought. Cindy able to get the remedy to revive both of the other sisters, and here comes the Delta attacks back again. So yeah, the speed of this boss has been really troublesome for Nightdew here.
Yeah, and with no other Gaia drums, it's going to be, and Nightdew is going to go ahead and reset out.
And while he tries again, we will be quiet again for the reprise of Batman from NES. Hope you all enjoy it one more time.
and that was the Batman level 1/1 again. And as we were listening in, Nightdew went and took on the Mad Ogre fight, got a ninja sword for his troubles, but also got Quake with Palom. So that will definitely speed up this Magus Sisters fight a whole bunch, as Gambit is getting his White Spear and is realizing this is a hook seed.
Heads up play by Nightdew after that reset, after the Mega Sisters got the best of him the first time, knowing that in this cave or Tower of Babel, that Mad Ogre's chest is really known as a good source of experience at this point in the game, using that to get Palom over to the level needed to get to Quake, and that Quake is just what the doctor ordered to take care of those sisters. So again, assessing the situation, knowing what he's got available to him, and making the adjustment just made that so much better. So, well played there by Nightdew. That wipe is going to let Gambit inch a little bit closer to him, as he just needs to get through Evelyn to get to the Mega Sisters and then Mom.
Yeah, I didn't see if Nightdew had used one of the hourglasses that he purchased earlier on those Mad Ogres. I would assume he did. That makes that fight really trivial. But it's going to be important here if he has another one, because that will make the second phase of this fight a lot easier if he can just, freeze the bombs after he gets the big bomb out. And thank you to our tracker, Scythe Marshall, for confirming yes, an hourglass was used.
We see also Nightdew making use of the blink spell. Now, at this point, the HP levels for our characters aren't great. Yang over 1,000, but we got the two twins who are very low, and Kane is on the lower end for the physical attackers as far as HP growth. So making use of that blink for this boss that just hits physically, at least during the first part, there will be an explosion at some point. This is a bomb after all.
Will take more,
but for the most part, just physical attacks. Yeah.
Yeah, will take more than 3 hits to cause this bomb to explode. That's for sure. Gambit continuing to find nice things for the Cecil he does not have. Just found a crystal armor, just hanging out in the chest over there in Tower of Babel.
But yeah, these physical spells or physical attacks. A bit of a problem for Nightdew. More blinks coming out. I want to keep Kane as healthy as possible while he's berserked. Palom throwing out the quakes for significant damage, but this fight is not trivial.
Yeah, this is a fast, punchy spot. Normally it's the vanilla Rubicante spot, so it has decently high stats in both physical and magical attack, as we do have the big bomb coming up. So she is due to explode here soon as ooh, that was really fast explosion there.
Palom survives and can get the quake off, then Nightdew's in great shape, but it looks like everything should be good from here on out.
Yep, just waiting to see. Oh,
that board face AI choosing Palom as the target for that is just not what Nightdew wanted to see right there. So now, relying on Kane as the berserker to take care of these is going to be really tough. They're going to start exploding, and they might be able to out-damage Kane, but before the hourglass can get out. Oh, this is not good. And another unfortunate reset for Nightdew there.
Now Gambit did the same thing as Nightdew. Went ahead to see who the King Queen spot was. So did not stop that ogre chest. Doesn't have Quake on Palom. So is trying to get through these Mega Sisters with just his physical fighters at this point.
Yeah, this whole overworld kind of sequence has been kind of sneaky tough, with that Valvolus fight being considerably difficult for where it is, and now both of these bosses in Babel being quite difficult as well. So yeah, this is really testing our runners, and I can just imagine every reset that Gambit takes here has just got to be sitting at 0-1 in the best of 3, like, that's just got to be nerve-wracking.
Oh, and this is going to be important to note. Gambit only had 1 hourglass. It's going to use it on these Mad Ogres. So what's the XP, but not going to have that for the Mom Bomb fight.
Yeah, so he's really going to be depending on that Palom to get that Quake off before those 6 bombs take out the Black Mage. Now, take 2 for Nightdew on this Mom Bomb as well. I think going to be a little bit more like prioritizing Palom, I think, with the blink is pretty important here.
Yep, unfortunately, he does take a hit and is down. He's going to need to get rezzed up here to get that blink. Shouldn't be a problem, though, before the explosion comes out. Yeah, I don't recall what the health is on the little bombs in this spot, but I believe a Quake will either at least take out the 3 non-gray bombs for sure, and be really close to taking out the gray bombs.
I'm not sure what the gear situation is on Nightdew's Palom, but I saw it do in like the 22 to 2500 range on other things, and I think that would be enough to take out all 6.
I know Gambit is rocking a Charm Rod on his Palom. Not sure where he got it, but I did see him equip it.
Well, I think Gambit just turned random encounters on. He might have been a little bit short of Quake, so wants to take another battle to get that Quake on Palom here.
Nightdew, though, does get the hourglass off, is gonna try and get these down before they can get 6 hits off, and then they will be stopped, so hopefully we'll be able to get them knocked out.
This random encounter did not go well for Gambit, had to run away after taking the brunt of the Mad Ogre's first hit and not healing up after it. It was just too much for Gambit to handle. Yeah, that's got to be disappointing. Got to heal up now and then take that random encounter, because getting Quake on Palom is going to be really important for the Mega Sisters fight for Gambit.
Oh, and doesn't have any camping gear either, so Plorm is not going to have any MP for this Mega Sisters or this random fight, as Nightdew is through the Mom Bomb, is going to be underground, has a pan in hand. I would be very surprised if he does not start checking some of these free checks.
Other thing to remember is there is a potential character at Dwarf Castle as well, so that might be a little bit higher in the pecking order than normal, but I tend to agree. Do these free checks. We've got one in the Fey March and then the Pan sequence, 3 potential key items with no battles required. All of that is good stuff.
Yep, that was a purple robe sitting at the top of the Tower of Babel, so that could be Mylon and Friends or Mylon Z. If we find that Cecil with a crystal sword and it's Mylon Z, that is pretty much a free fight.
Looks like Gambit is looking for a specific encounter here. See if this is what he wants. It looks like he's happy with this one.
I think the first one was a back attack, so it wasn't taken too kindly to those hits, considering the mana situation that he has to deal with. Oh, and these fights are just going so fast.
Yeah, these monsters are blazing speed on Gambit's side.
Listen, I'm not the person that you should ask any questions about agility manipulation for. I know the very, very, very basics of it. So I have no idea, how Yang's agility is affecting this at all. But those fights were going extremely fast, and I think that's definitely throwing Gambit through a loop.
Nightdew, as Gambit was fighting those blade men, we're going to see a similar sprite over at Nightdew's side as the Baron Guard in Dwarf Castle, and it looks like Nightdew is looking for that Cecil.
And Nightdew does have one more hourglass, so it has just turned this fight into another free fight.
Yeah, the Baron Guards have nasty counter script of size and piggy, which you don't want to mess with if you don't have to. Plus, their physical attack at this spot is pretty strong as well. So smart to take use of that, because I don't think we've got a lot of the debilitating status spells that could also be used on the guards at this point.
Yeah, just using the hourglass, getting a life glitch off too. This is a good 20k XP here in this spot. So getting an extra, 10k or so is going to be really nice. It's going to be equivalent to doing a siren at this point.
This Blademan Sorcerer fight proving to be very difficult for Gambit. I mean, if he wants Kane to get experience, that's going to work out fine, because whatever weapon he's got equipped right now must be dealing extra damage, because he's hitting quad 9s on these jumps.
It's the white spear. I believe the Blademen are weak to holy.
Yeah, well, they must be. So
we found Cecil, as our restreamer Asuka points out, not the Cecil that we were looking
for. Unfortunately not, but it is Rosa. So now, especially since we found that heroine robe earlier, you're in a spot where you can have one of your white mages be a dedicated healer, and the other one can be equipped with that heroine robe to either do fast buffs or to be kind of tweaked out to be a physical attacker of a kind. So options are real open right now with Rosa being added to the party.
Yeah, I like having a heroine robe if I've got both Rosa and Porum, that you can just get an extra physical, especially if we can find a good bow. I don't know if Nightdew has found a good one yet or not. Or, I think there's a stack of charm arrows in Nightdew's inventory. But we'll see what this key item reward is, but I do like turning Rosa into an archer here.
It's interesting. Gambit's had enough and says, Kane, we are going to solo these Mega Sisters.
Ooh, getting kind of low there, though. Hopefully this jump should be able to take out Cindy, I believe. No.
Yeah, Sandy and Mindy, once they're gone, oof. Once Cindy's gone, Sandy and Mindy are a lot less scary, but Kane is still up. 14 HP is not a lot, though.
Yeah, even if Mindy transitions into level 1 spells, I don't think Kane is going to be able to do this unless he can unless Gambit can get a heal off. Oh, it's direct cast, I forgot. Because Sandy hasn't thrown another wall up yet. For Beowulf in chat, we only need 4 out of the 5 objectives. So while it would be very sad if Cecil was the only Cecil was in the giant, the runners would still be able to complete the seed without going to the giant.
Wall has come down, but Sandy, like, this charm is the only thing that's really scary here.
How did he dodge himself? Kane just dodging himself there. Oh, Nightdew got the darkness crystal over on from Sheila 1. So now we have moon access. We have the tower key was picked up from Dwarf Castle. We have the magma key, which is now probably just going to take up an inventory slot. So we have another character check on the moon. We have 2 checks in the tower, and we still have our Feymarch chest. So a lot of options available for Nightdew, and it looks like he wants a Cecil if there's a Cecil on the moon.
Yeah, we saw from his decision to go to Dwarf Castle right away that he's really prioritizing the potential of getting the character for objective number 5. So this is right in line with what he's been doing.
And we'll see if Gambit has a little bit better luck on round 2 here.
I think if Gambit had a little bit more HP on Kane for that second one, then taking out Sandy first might have been fine instead of Mindy, but
yeah, it looks like he may have mismenued there and hit the wrong sister, because he had been trying to focus fire down Cindy there.
Nightdew beelining it to the Lunar Palace, going to get that character check as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and hasn't done a whole lot of shopping. I didn't catch if Nightdew check the Dwarf Castle shops. So we'll see if Nightdew decides to check the Moon shop, see if there's sirens up here.
Ooh, Vanilla Fusia. That is a great pickup.
That is, especially with the number of bosses that we've killed, this Fusoya is going to be very, very well powered. At 1800 health, so actually has his full spell list already.
And we see on Gambit's side, got through with a little bit more HP, and yeah, now is prioritizing Sandy. The scariest thing once Cindy is done is Sandy's charm spell. Anything else, I think Gambit's got enough HP to weather the low-level single target spells that Mindy gives, and the other stuff is just not important.
Yeah, doing 1 damage with these level 1 spells, I think Gambit's probably going to get through this and will probably turn around and hit that save point. Is through the fight, though.
That was well fought. Like, that was another attempt of, like, even these random encounters that he was doing to try to get some experience just wasn't working. So instead thought, what do I have available to me? What's going best for me right now? And that's Kane. And if I do everything right, I think Kane's got everything that he needs to beat this fight on his own. And lo and behold, he did. That was just well played by Gambit there. And now is going to go in the Mom Bomb fight. Luckily gets a free heal beforehand, so doesn't have to solo this one with Kane. This one's going to be tough, though. He doesn't have the Hourglass that Nightdew had, and he doesn't have Quake on his Palom like Nightdew had as well, so it's going to be a lot more difficult. Still going to be relying on the jumping from Kane, avoiding some stuff. We'll see if he makes use of the Blink spell like we saw from Nightdew as well. Nightdew has returned to the blue planet. And now I'm guessing it's probably going to do some of the more underground checks. We've got that tower with the tower key as well as the Feymarch. And it's going to be the tower going for the density of checks here. Even though there are 3 in the Feymarch, those 2 bosses are oftentimes just too difficult to take at this point.
Yeah, and knows that there's a purple robe sitting at the top of here. The tower key check is only about 1,000 HP. This is a really good, looking for the density. Needs either the Adamant and Legend Sword or a Baron key to really progress the seed forward.
And I imagine he's really looking for the Baron key, because the Baron key also holds a character check. You might be able to get everything done that you need from now on. And with that, Darkness Crystal also has access to Zeramus himself. So really, if he finds the Baron key, he's in go mode. Well, if Cecil's there. I'm a step ahead of you now. I'm thinking too far ahead. Oh,
Fu dodged
nice
it.
dodge from Fusia, and Yang able to tank it.
Gets the nuke off, has no issues. Gambit looks like he's doing some backtracking here. Wonder if he is planning to head back out to the shop to get an hourglass.
It could be that. It could be going to Evelyn Castle for a little bit more experience as well, since he still is short that Quake on Palom.
Yeah, Evelyn Castle has 3 trap chests there, so good infusion of XP waiting for Gambit if he chooses to go that way to get through this hook route. Could have some decent gear to help him out as well. So we'll see where he decides to go, if he's just going to step outside and exit and come back in, or if he's going to head over to the castle.
He's walking out, so you might want to get some shopping regardless. So probably wants hourglasses, whether he's going to Castle Evelyn or not, because we'll probably want those hourglasses for those fights, but also would probably want to have at least one more for the Mom Bomb as well.
Could be doing the Staleman chest as well.
Well, he walked right by that one.
Yep.
So, well, you might want to heal up first, might go to the inn.
That's true. Yeah, you don't want to solo that, and not get that XP with Palom.
And there it is, the inn, a rare inn sighting in Free Enterprise.
Yeah, with these random kits, we don't get any starting camping gear like we were in the Swiss rounds. So not having those 5 tents is proven to hinder Gambit a little bit on getting some grinding going.
And Nightdew fighting Mylon Z up at the top of the tower, and this spot has quite a bit of hit points, but it's not really physically super strong, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, especially with a full-powered Fusia on the team.
Yeah, full-powered Fusia, a Kane with the defense sword could switch to the white spear, but Nightdew not even worried about that, just going to berserk Kane up, let him swing his defense sword. I don't know if we found a Fire Claw yet for Yang for him to be using.
Interesting, though, when Nightdew took Fusia onto the team, decided to ditch Palom, the Quake kid who got him here, and is keeping both of his white mages for now.
Yeah, I think that could just be because he had just gotten the Rosa. If he's planning to get rid of this Porum later, he'll want some XP on that Rosa before doing so. I don't think it's a terrible move at all. If he's looking forward to that Crystal Sword Cecil, if he can find that Paladin, gonna definitely probably drop Porum, would be my guess. I don't want to speculate because I've been wrong so many times already.
Just another set of crystal armor for defeating Mylon there. So, I missed. I see Gambit going forward. I imagine that means he got enough experience in that fight with the Staleman to get Palom to Quake.
Yeah, and I missed the item that he got out of the trap chest too. But yeah, as long as his Palom got through that Staleman, I believe he would have enough XP to get Quake. Well, that's a really nice piece of armor. Chat saying it was a Dragoon chest piece. So that's an upgrade for Kane that's going to make him a little bit hardier on taking on the Mom Bomb.
And as Nightdew exits the tower at the bottom, we'll get another key item check, because we don't see what the key item is for doing the tower key room until you leave the tower. And so that's what's going to happen right now. We'll also be gifted with the yellow airship instead of the red one in the underworld for doing this.
And Nightdew really hoping this is another key item to get him to 10 key items. And it's a character check as well.
Yeah, that's a character check and a key item. Key item number 10. Going to go right to Miss.
Oh, if this is
to see if that's where Cecil's located.
If this is the Cecil here, Nightdew, I think, still has the 2 sirens from earlier. Oh,
that is Cecil.
So 10 key items.
And a lot more Cecils for celebration.
All the Cecils here in Mist.
That was amazing. Like, congratulations, you completed objective number 5.
Yeah, so is gonna get the Cecil 10 key items, 120,000 XP if Nightdew decides to pop those sirens on eggs, and that Cecil will be right in fighting shape.
Yeah, it won't take too long, whether he wants to use them on the moon, if he wants to use them. Yeah, even if he just wants to use them on eggs in the underground, it's going to be strong. But we still are with a Baron Key or a Legend and Adamant away from completing this seed.
Do still have that Feymarch chest available to us that we haven't checked. Yeah, there are not very many characters that you would want to take the time to go through the package. Your objective character, definitely one. But even if Cecil wasn't an objective character, I think you go through it with the gear and, with the stuff that we have for Cecil in our inventory. Just having that crystal sword, you go through that cutscene.
Absolutely. The crystal sword, you just want to be able to use it if you got it. It is that powerful. Here come the blinks on Gambit's side, utilizing that spell that we saw be very effective for Nightdew in this fight.
Just an Ogopogo here, not going to be a big deal. One nuke, and this nope rope will be gone.
One of the few places in the game where Ogopogo is not scary.
Yeah, even if you got the wave off, you heal up to full right after the fight.
Yeah.
I gotta think Nightdew's taking the Cecil. Is he gonna keep the Porum, or is he gonna, or the Rosa, or dumping the Yang?
Hey, I am always gonna give a big thumbs up for ditching Yang. So, yeah, that's gonna be good. Wants to have both of these white mages. I think, like, in my mind, it's what you said before about Rosa. You want to keep Porum until Rosa gets to the point where she knows, like, Berserk and Blink and probably Cure 3 or something like that. And then after that, you're going to be looking at hopefully finding another character, or if you're lucky, finding a curse ring to have a really good agility situation going on after that. Because that's one thing that his team is kind of lacking right now. To answer the question in chat, Categos, why diamond armor over crystal on Cecil? Crystal armor is very strong, and in some situations it might be equipped, but for the majority of battles you probably don't want to have it on there because it grants an immunity to the Berserk status, and if you've got a crystal sword Cecil, you want to make him go Berserk to just maximize as much damage as you can out of it.
You want a very angry paladin, and that crystal sword unfortunately does the opposite of that. It makes a very happy paladin.
But there are certain places where you put that on. If you're not planning on equipping Cecil or berserking Cecil, you can use them defensively and have them cover characters, and the crystal armor is really good for that.
Ooh, that Feymarch chest just being another ninja sword with no edge in sight.
And we see yet another in usage, this time on Nightdew's side. Wants to get a little bit of healing just in case those Feymarch bosses are doable at this point.
Yep, and unfortunately, Gambit takes another wipe to the Mom Bombs, going right back in though.
Ooh, and Nightdew having enough money to buy an elixir. That's actually a really heads-up play. I really like buying that when you're counting on Fusia in your team, because his MP pool is so low, and we've mentioned the lack of camping equipment. There's probably going to come a time where Fusia's MP is going to become a liability. Having that elixir just in case of emergency is a really good thing to have some insurance for.
Yeah, in this Feymarch, we have Mylon and friends here in the Asura spot. This is actually really doable for this party. Food just going to throw out a Meteo, looks like.
Well, when you can do the Meteo, you do the Meteo, I guess. I mean, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, we have an angry Cecil now swinging the Crystal Sword.
We see this is a base level Cecil. Attacking for almost as much as Kane, who's like level 30, right?
Yeah, and the Mylon in this is not even weak to the holy property, and is not undead. So just that raw attack power of the Crystal Sword is, 1300 on a base. Ooh, there's the quad 9.
Level 1 attack, quad 9s. Now, it does hit weaknesses, but still.
Who is still getting the Meteo? Here comes the rocks. Mylon still standing though. Do you think with Fu casting, Meteo, this is Mylon and friends' like Zeroma's fight right now?
That might be, except I don't think Mylon's close to defeating Nightdew's team.
I don't think so either. I suspect this will be like a Meteo wipe or something. Nope,
oh,
White Spirit.
My body.
40,000 HP richer here. The 10 key items coming into play. Cecil gets 26 levels, I believe.
That is a considerable upgrade. Just a glass helmet, though, did not get that Baron key yet. And we're getting to the point where, like, all those moon checks are looming over the runner right now.
Yeah, and we do have the Luca key available, too. That could be a quick check if you want to, run down there and see what's there and just reset back out if it ends up not being a key item. And this CPU fight, too, in this spot is not a terrible fight. It could be a little long depending on how Nightdew would want to tackle it. But if he never wants to come back to the Feymarch, this could be a fight that is really doable.
Well, it looks like he's planning on doing it, because I think that's the only reason to take another in-stay here in the Feymarch. So yeah, we're going to see a save and going to do that CPU fight. We'll see if he's just going to go with the old Meteo strategy, as Gambit is up to the exploding point now. He needs to get this. Looks like he is.
Hey, Gambit is through the
There
hook
we
route.
go. That was not easy, and it took several tries, but he made it, and that's the big thing. Able to adjust what he needed to do in order to make the fight work.
Now it is a race for Gambit to try and find this Baron key. Needs to do Dwarf, I believe, to get the tower key to get this Cecil.
Yeah.
I think Gambit's path to getting ahead is right now, as what we know from Nightdew, is skipping the Feymarch. He's got
unless the CPU gives the Baron key.
Right, unless CPU gives the Baron key. I did say it was what we know.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough.
but that would really help Gambit catch up. So it looks like he's gonna do the pan first.
And Nightdew using my favorite strategy for the CPU fight, which is when you've got a full powered Fusia, just go ahead and cast Meteor at the beginning. Don't worry about it. Eat the Globe 199s, recover from them, and you're good to go.
Yeah, and Crystal Sword wielding Cecil is doing 2300. These Quakes, the Meteor should be able to get through this. Xenocat in chat is pulling up. We have not seen all the duplicates yet. There is a chance that there is another Cecil out there. Could be a Baron Castle. So if Gambit can dig up the Baron key quickly and a Cecil is there, that could be really good for Gambit to get caught back up.
For that to happen, Gambit's going to have to gamble big and either go right to the moon or go down to the Seal Cave. Nightdew doesn't like what's going on, so going to reset. We'll see if he gives it another try or nope. Exiting out. Does not want to fight that CPU, so that's going to be out there still.
Yeah, Gambit's completing the pan checks first. Gonna get his Darkness Crystal. We'll probably check and get that Foo before doing anything else in the underground.
Like Nightdew wants to do a little bit more shopping. That item shop was a very strong place, so not surprised that Nightdew wants to go back there now that he's got a little bit more money. Can buy more Bacchuses, can buy more hourglasses.
I think with having 3 Berserk casters in this party, Nightdew is definitely going for hourglasses. There's still a number of boss fights on the moon that those can be useful for. Dark Imps is still on the table. The Officer fight is still out there. If you find one of those, that's also a pretty decent grind up on the moon as well.
Those are also good to have if you want to use those sirens on double King Ryu fights, either in Cape Bahamut or in the Lunar Subterrane. So for both of those reasons, picking up some more hourglasses just makes a lot of sense. Looks like he is lunar bound.
Yep, so Gambit is raising the whale, Nightdew is riding the whale up to the moon. Our runners have kind of, mildly converged, even though Nightdew has done a few more checks than Gambit has. We'll see how Gambit decides to tackle the rest of the seed, as we're probably gearing up for a bottom of the Lunar Subterrane for Nightdew.
Yeah, the bottom play. I mean, I like the bottom play just in general. But there's so many key item checks right next to each other down at the bottom of the Lunar Subterrane that it just makes sense. It's going to be more down there, or both parts of the forge.
Yeah, and with the party we have, the bottom of this moon, maybe the first fight will be, mildly difficult. But we have a fully powered Foo. We have a Crystal Sword wielding Cecil. We have 2 white mages. I don't think that Nightdew will have too many fights down here that will cause him a whole lot of issues.
The biggest issue is going to be the lack of recovery, the lack of camping items throughout the course of this seed. There's no inn down here. If he wants to take an inn, he's got to go back to the big whale. And that's another walk down here. And so going to try to be efficient. We might see resetting out of boss fights even after a win if there's no key items, depending on how much HP and MP are used after it. We also might see grinding beforehand for that same reason as well. But looks like he went past the floor where you'd see those King Ryus, so looks like he's going to at least face check some bosses first.
Yeah, you don't want to use too many resources. You know, if you're going to be doing weeks or whatever on those King Rees, you probably want to do that on your way out. So we're going to get some face checks here and see what some of these bosses are.
Leviathan here, and I think that's one. This is one that could take up some resources, but it's not technically a difficult fight.
Yeah, this is you know, Leviathan's going to do the wave. It's a percent based attack. Going to be throwing out these ice twos, but the spot is not. You know, that hit Cecil for 800 damage. So I mean, is taking out this lower health party, but that's a doable fight later on, for not as many resources.
Looks like Gambit gonna go to a different place and going into Cave Bahamut. This is a place that we haven't seen yet. We're gonna see if Gambit decides to do any grinding before, or just wants to peek and see who the boss is.
Yeah, we do still have, like I said earlier, some free bosses. We haven't seen the King and Queen of Evelyn yet, I don't believe. So if they're sitting here in Cave Value, that could be a really big fight for Gambit to take right now.
That is not the king sprite you want to see.
No, that spot is a punchy spot and a fast spot, and Odin likes to do both things: punch fast and hit. And yeah, I would not blame Gambit for wanting to do a grind and get out of here. Popping the siren,
like
though.
the grind, yeah, the siren, the double King Ryu grind fight. Now it is worth noting, Gambit is not at the 10 key item mark that Nightdew is at, so a little bit less efficient, but still going to be a solid jump in experience levels for his party.
Yeah, this will allow Gambit to really breeze through some of the underground fights that Nightdew, didn't struggle with, but powering up Yang, powering up Palom, will allow Gambit to get through those fights a little bit, not faster, but at least comparable to how Nightdew did.
Another thing is Gambit did the whole pan sequence first when he went underground. Nightdew went to Dwarf Castle first. So if Gambit decides to go to Dwarf Castle, he's got a Fusia on his team where Nightdew did not. So that's going to be another advantage if he to get through that fast. But that's a Baron key. I think Nightdew's in go mode.
Yes, he is, and I would not be surprised if we didn't see some gold dragons on Nightdew's side here soon. It'll depend on if he wants to do them on the way to Zeromus or before Baron Castle. Riven through
now.
Riven, yes. The dolls are in the Vigan spot.
Yeah, so our runners have been really looking for that Baron key the whole time. The question is going to be, does he go through the battle afterwards of the cutscene to see if the character is one that's going to be a suitable anchor for his squad, or if he's going to just roll with the Agility 20 Fusia anchor, which, I mean, is technically not the worst anchor, but is not really an ideal number either.
Yeah, and Gambit looks to be going down to the Lunar Subterranean.
Really interesting because he'll definitely, if he goes to the bottom, there's a good chance he'll see that Leviathan, and with those extra levels, he should be able to take it and get that Baron key. We'll see if that points him back to the blue planet after that.
Gambit looks to be doing some top-down, though. Going to be checking the Mersame altar first. and we'll see who
Going
this boss
top
is.
down, going top down instead of bottom. Really interesting. One thing that could happen here is Galvez. No one ever wants to find him.
Rex, to answer your question, the Crystal Sword does not give me agility. It gives strength and vitality.
Ah, vitality. Okay, well then you're all good.
And Gambit didn't reset out of this. Is gonna try and take this Golbez fight here on the Murasame Elder. I don't think this is that terrible. Oh yes, Scythe Marshal, I believe you're right. There is will on the Crystal Sword as well. I believe you are correct.
It's where it's like, yeah, you can do it. Should you do it? But I totally understand why Gambit feels like, yes, I need to do it. This is one of those gambling things. He's down a game. He knows how long it took him to beat that mom bomb. So he's got to try to do something. And this Galvez might be something that Nightdew would reset out of if he saw it. So it makes perfect sense to do this at this point.
Yeah, and Nightdew is switching Rosa over to being a white mage. Took the heroine robe off. She has 1900 HP, so is not with the gear that she has would I feel real warm and fuzzy taking Zeromus on, but could definitely survive an unnerved Big Bang most of the time.
Sometimes you get those really high roll Big Bangs and it can do over 2,000 damage. But usually like the 1,600 to 1,900 is the range that you see for those unnerved ones. So Nightdew flying right on over to Baron, going to go ahead and do that. Going to fight that Calbrina, and then we'll be rewarded with the crystal. I guess another reason to continue and go through the cutscene is there's a possibility that it could give the pass.
Yeah, I think it's hard to walk backwards through Baron. I've tried it. It wasn't pretty. I think you definitely go through it. It's an easy boss. This is going to be one nuke from Fu and done. Even with the cutscene time, I think you definitely do it in the hopes that you get a pass.
Gambit able to get the whole squad up before Galvez gets down, so everybody's going to benefit from the experience. Also take advantage of the fact that Galvez is weak to fire, the Fire 3 dealing over 6,000, causing Galvez to ask why.
Yeah, really well done fight there by Gambit, getting his entire party up to get this XP. This is going to be a nice, healthy infusion. Palom getting level 3 spells, as Nightdew is going to take on these dolls.
And there's another Holy Sword to go in Gambit's collection. Unfortunately, has not found Cecil yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, we know that Cecil is behind the package, that is behind the tower key, that is behind Fourth Castle. So this is an interesting thing. Gambit took that fight and is, obviously exited out. This is a free heal, so he's actually going to gain that XP and be full healed to, do his dive. It could be a good heads-up play there to conserve mana for, the bottom of the Lunar Subterranean, but also get another check taken care of.
Yeah, being aware of where and when you can get those heals, where those heal pots are, what battles you get a free heal from, everything like that is real important in these bracket seeds. Looks like Queen Ashura has taken over Baron.
Hey, royalties all got to stick together, it sounds like.
Yeah, Odin with the King of the Summoned Monsters or Lord of the Dragons, Bahamut, whatever one it is. Like, it's kind of unclear in the lore whether Leviathan's actually the king or what. I don't know. Different translations say different things, I think.
Yeah. I believe he's the king and Bahamut is the god. But blink and you miss it. Asura is down, crumbling away.
Yep, and then the cutscene's going to start with a character, and then we'll check the pot to see what the key item is. Nightdew hoping for the pass there. If he's looking for an agility anchor, even a base level edge is not going to be a great one.
Yep, and that's what it was. That is not an anchor you want to see. The best we have for this edge is 2 ninja swords, though.
Yeah, not going to be enough in this team. Likes what he's got going on right now. So just going to roll with this squad.
Gambit's going to be checking the ribbon room first. Trying to get up to that 10 key items, I would suspect. Hey, there's a free fight.
This is the set your controller down, go get a beverage, and then by the time you get back, they should be just about done.
And Nightdew finds the spoon. The spoon flag is not on, so even if we had found an Edward, would not be able to wield it, and we don't have a ninja who can throw it. So unfortunately, the spoon is just going to probably take up some space, but Nightdew is heading back to the moon, has the crystal in hand.
He could have had an edge and a spoon. Nope. Instead, we've got the squad that we've got, and we are going to be heading down into the lunar core to fight Zeramus.
Now, what would be interesting if Nightdew had kept the edge and then peeked Ribbon Room, seeing this free fight. That's 200,000 XP right there. That to get that edge up to levels.
Yeah, you see, only 100,000 on Gambit's side because no 10 items. But still, 100,000 is a lot of experience.
Oh, yes. Does find the Legend Sword. Unfortunately, Lunar Staff, not what Gambit was hoping for. Was kind of hoping for 2. We'll see if he goes and gets this Baron Key.
Yeah, and I wonder if he's going to end up finding that that adamant before he finds that seasonal.
Yeah, still a number of checks here. Has the Ogopogo spot, has the Crystal Sword as well. Gonna get the Baron Key from this Leviathan. I don't think he will have too many issues with this spot.
Yeah, his Pussy is now full powered as well, so he's got access to Nuke. He's got access to another Berserk caster. So yeah, everything's set up a lot better. Those Ice 2s, as we saw from Nightdew, still might hit a little hard here, but depending on who they target, should be able to have deal with this fight without too much issue.
Yep, and Nightdew doing save, walking right past the Ribbon Room, not going to peek it for maybe some more XP, and is heading into the core.
And as Nightdew is making this walk, want to one more time shout out our Restream team tonight, Asuka on the Restream, and Scythe Marshall on the tracking. Without them, we do not have a show. Thanks to everybody for coming around and watching us over here on the Free Enterprise channel, our home of homes. And hope you all are excited about this Lali-Ho League as we are to bring it to you.
Yep, and as we're seeing these flags in chat, one of the things that, we can't randomize is where Zeromus is. He's too big, he's too powerful, he's too ugly. But we can fix some of the ugly, usually. We do like to randomize what Zeromus looks like, which leads us to a question. Rex, would you like to do the honors?
Whose butt are we going to kick tonight? Because it is butt time. Of course, this is just a cosmetic change for Zeramus. The script is exactly the same as Zeramus would be in the vanilla game.
Yep, so Crystal comes out, will reveal the butt. Looks like Nightdew is going to try and get ready to throw a Silk Web out.
Or use it back, as it might be that too.
Hey, another free fight here in the Lunar Subterrane.
Gambit is out of hourglasses, it looks like.
I am not sure where Ultimus is from.
I believe it is from Final Fantasy Tactics.
Aha!
Which is also where Nightdew got all of his character names. Kind of serendipity, isn't it?
That is.
See this extra white mage getting these berserks out really quickly too, so we'll see if there's going to be any attempt at anything hybrid, or just let Crystal Sword Cecil and Defense Sword Kane berserk their way through this fight. That's all you really need to worry about right now too.
Yep, and Gambit is rewarded with a Sand Ruby. So Gambit's only got one more check here in the Lunar Subterrane at the Crystal Sword Altar. Does have the Bahamut spot. Probably not too keen on taking on that Odin. Firebird Lover, we do not know who's in the Ben Kaipo. But Gambit is hoping that it's a Cecil.
Gambit might also be hoping that the Legend Sword and Cecil are in Baron as well. Legend Sword or Cecil, really.
Meanwhile, Nightdew is still swinging away here on this Ultimus. Going to be getting this Kane back up. Looks to be pretty healthy HP-wise, and going to have to re-berserk the Cecil, though.
Having all three of these white magic users means getting the berserk situated and recovering from a fallen character are a lot easier. So it looks like that was what the strategy was for keeping Quorum in the party throughout the seed. And that is Edward in the bed. Sorry, Asuka, it doesn't look like Gambit's interested.
Yeah, no spoon flag on, real late in the seed. Could be a good anchor.
There's the berserk getting re-upped on Kane. As the next shake happens, we can get a... so I'm going to try to time a nerfing of this Big Bang with a new cast from Fusia here.
Yep, and Carhawk, the package is behind the tower key, which is from Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, and not surprisingly, Gambit going through the Baron check right now. Go for your objectives. He knows that Calbrain is here. Could be either the Legend Sword or Cecil. So this is absolutely where I would go if I was in Gambit's shoes right now.
Ooh, and that was a bad Big Bang for Nightdew. Still has Fu, still has Cecil, but that Cure 4 didn't get everybody up, so we'll see if Nightdew can get his party back up.
Yeah, I imagine if he can revive Rosa, one Cure 4 from Rosa, we'll get the party back feeling pretty healthy here.
Gonna be full health for this next Big Bang. Oh, this could be bad for Nightdew. If this goes Big Bang into rocks, because I think we've got to be getting close to that with how much damage Nightdew is dishing out.
Hey, now if that happens, the commentator's curse is on you. Not for this one.
I understand, and I will expect full responsibility.
But looks like Nightdew able to get the Cure 4 off anyways, so you're off the hook this time. There's the Black Hole. Going to get a little bit more recovery time over on Nightdew's side. Not that it needs a whole lot. The only issue is those Cure 4s are 40 MP a pop for Fusia, but the rocks are falling.
Yep, and Kane and Fu both dodge. Should be pretty good here, I think. Looks like Fu may actually be out of MP.
Fu hit Z with his stick. Not a significant amount of damage, but, he's doing what he can.
Gonna get the Rosa up as safety. She will probably need to dodge a Meteor before she can get a heal off. But there's the boom, crack, and flash. Get your GGs in chat for Nightdew.
Big GGs. It really came down to the hook route. Those fights there, and I believe we are now joined by Nightdew. GG's on your win tonight. There were some tough fights in the seed, and you were able to get through them a little bit faster. What did you think about everything that happened in this seed? Just your overall thoughts first.
Whew, I did not feel good about that. Not after the double wipe in tower, the reset to trying to rush CPU. Yeah, it was pretty clenched up to the point where it's like, I'm just running around the seed. I have a crystal sword in my hand, and I'm just looking for a paladin to glue it to.
Well, and you found him doing the dwarf castle, trying to get the paladin from there. That didn't work out, but getting the tower key leading to the package, that was the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, it was an early dwarf play, and I mean, it was looking for Cecil, looking for Fu. I mean, Fu was on the moon. Just something, because I mean, while the party wasn't like entirely rough, I mean, the twins Kane and Yang aren't bad. That was definitely an interesting hook route with that mom bomb in the way. It jumped to use a lot of resources to the double Bacchus, just trying to get enough time to blink everybody up. And then, again, the wipe there, going for the swag Quake instead of playing it smart and using the Hourglass the first time.
Yeah, and the Mega Sisters before it, also not an easy fight either, right?
Yeah, I had actually planned on, finding that Mad Ogre chest, because I knew, a full life glitched Mad Ogre's chest would get me, Quake, and then I just kind of get to the fight, and I'm like, well, I could probably take this, and then Board AI decides to remove Kane, which was my whole idea, which was my whole plan to kill the middle sisters, so, it is what it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, Gambit did stumble through the hook route, took a couple of wipes to the Mega Sisters. His Mad Ogre chest didn't get his paladin to Quake, so that was where some of his struggles came from on getting through Mega Sisters and Mom Bomb.
Yeah, I definitely like, when I'm doing the overworld, I definitely like to try to route in character checks as soon as I can. Now, Baron In was extremely nice, throwing a couple fights that really didn't, kind of threaten us at all, honestly. So when it kind of came down to it, and we got that quack hit early, I knew I had at least Ordeals and Fabul, and in this case Twin Harp too, and I had just enough. And I always had Evelyn Castle in my back pocket, and had definitely thought about doing that with the Hourglasses also in Cave Evelyn. Just never pulled the trigger on that. Never really felt the need after the Crystal Sword, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you don't feel the need. You don't want much when you've got a Crystal Sword in your crypts, do you?
No, not exactly. About the only thing I was really praying for at that time was hey, how about an Avenger? Let's get greedy with this.
Yeah. So how did you feel? Getting that rat tail, turning it into the pink tail, into the Crystal Sword. Was there a little oh, I really hope I find this Cecil soon, or was it a sigh of relief to get an objective knocked out?
It was, I mean, objective's always good, but in terms of, hey, that's, we have a Crystal Sword, and we have a guaranteed Cecil somewhere in this seed, and priority one over objectives at that point was find Cecil.
So not only did you win this race tonight, but you win the 2 out of 3, and so you're going to be moving on. What are your thoughts as far as going forward in this event?
I mean, the goal. The goal is always just advancing there. It's going to be interesting there. I'm going to be needing to make a few. I'm going to have to kind of clean up the play a little bit here. However, as I am moving into a disadvantage against Stone Dingley there, so it's going to be a little bit interesting there. I think I can do it, but it's going to kind of take some perfect games, honestly.
Well, I wish you good luck in the rest of it. Did you have any final thoughts before we let you go for the evening?
That was the saddest edge ever. I'm looking at my character tracker, and I'm seeing Rydia, Tella, Edward, and Sid all available, and only one dupe in my pocket, and there's Edge. I'm like, okay, I've got like a somewhere around 70% chance for this to be my anchor and a ditch the Porum, and Edge walks in, and I'm like, well, crap.
Unfortunately, he just didn't provide the what you needed at the time, but you did have 2 ninja swords for him.
Oh yeah, I had 2 ninja swords, and had I not been in go mode, I would have totally slapped him in my party. But no, that was we were rushing to Z. Love the Z sprite actually. Wish I could make it, wish I could call it like that every time, honestly. But yeah.
Well, once again, GG's, and thank you for letting us watch you race tonight.
Hey, no problem. Thank you all, and thank you all for running this. Thank you very much, guys.
GG's.
Yep.
And that was the winner of today's race, Nightdew. And so, once again, make sure everybody follows both of these runners. It's going to be sad for Gambit to not be in this event anymore, but you can be assured that he's still going to be doing a bunch of free enterprise content. If you see anything push B to jump related, know that Gambit's probably in there. I know he really loves that format.
Yep, and gonna be doing a service to my co-commentator Rexraw. Just checked out the Job Dwarf.
Yeah, I love me some Job Dwarf, so thank you, Gambit. That might be one of those things where he knows that Nightdew is already finished if he's the chat, so he's like, oh, might as well do this now. So big ups to Gambit for that.
Yep, gonna be heading into the tower. We know this is his path to Cecil if he chooses to take it. We did see during Nightdew's credits, the Adamant Rock is sitting on the Odin basement behind Octomammoth.
Yeah, so at this point, either the package or the or that Odin throne is going to be what's needed in order for Gambit to be in go mode. So he's actually really close at this point.
Yeah, so we will see if he does maybe a half tower thing here, or if he does the full tower. I believe the top of tower was it was an item, it was a weapon.
Yeah, it was Mylon Z with I believe it was a second crystal armor.
Yeah, that's right. We'll still probably make short work. Full powered Foo will make quick work.
Yeah, and with those lunar fights under his belt, he's a lot more high level than Nightdew was at this point. So this fight should go pretty quickly. The one kind of monkey or like spanner in the works here is the fact that that's Wyvern at the tower key room.
Yeah, but this party should be fast enough that, you know, just one hit and boom, Wyvern shouldn't be too much of an issue.
I agree. It shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be.
The other thing is Yang might be able to tank a Mega Nuke from Wyvern there and survive. So.
Yep, we've got even Porum putting in some. Oh nope, I thought she was casting that Cure 3 on Mylon. Yang though doing powers as if he was casting a Fire 2. Palom with the quad 9, and this Mylon Z is done for.
And nope, that's not the boss you needed. Don't forget about tower. Oh, he doesn't have the tower key yet. Oh,
He does. He's done Dwarf Castle.
Oh yeah, he did. Okay, my bad. Thanks, Scythe Marshal.
Yeah, there's a number of runners who like to do the tower key on the way out. It's definitely a personal choice. I'm not quite sure what the reasoning behind doing it on the way in versus the way out is. I tend to do it on the way in so I don't forget it.
Yeah, Wyvern disposed of without too much problems, and so Gambit is going to be rewarded with the package as he exits the tower, and then he'll get a celebration of Cecil's. A plethora of Palums. Or not Palums. I meant to say Paladin, and then I said Palum. Oh my goodness, I can't even joke properly.
I mean, the Palom was the one duplicate we saw, so there was, a plethora of them in terms of everybody else.
This is why I leave the punning to Baka Shinobi. So now the next thing we need to do is have Gambit check on that package. I imagine he will, but people often will avoid the package. In this case, I don't think Gambit has a lot of reason to avoid it, but yeah.
Yeah, we will see. He does still have the Feymarch check down here and the Luca key check, which is where he's heading.
As he's going to the Feymarch, he's got a character check. Oh no. Oh, okay.
Wait.
Just planting a save there in case there's nothing at the package.
Okay.
That's good. That's
a good heads-up play there by him. He's going to see the Cecil and be like, ah.
Yeah, now he doesn't need to use that save.
The question is, though, he's got a lot of experience on his party. I'd like to think he's still going to take the Cecil, but I mean, he's, his party, his Kane and his Yang are Z ready.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I can see arguments for getting rid of Porum. If he's got enough money to buy a couple of Bacchuses and Eblin, then that's an option. Getting rid of Yang for him, kind of like what Nightdew did, also makes some sense. Getting rid of Palom actually makes some sense too, to go for like a Trizerx strategy. Because Gambit doesn't have the Rosa that Nightdew had on his team. He opted to let Rosa go because he had already invested in his Porum.
Yeah, I think if it was me in this situation, I would probably go ahead and let the Palom go. You only need to Cecil to the upper 30s, low 40s for him to be really Z ready, especially with the Crystal Sword and the other gear that we have. So that doesn't take all that long. It would just be how Gambit would facilitate that.
Another interesting thing here is Gambit could go ahead and pick up Edward here and maybe ditch Porum for it and just go with Fusia as the only magic user. And then have a really good anchor with that base level Edward, because he's got the Sand Ruby and he knows that Edward's in the bed here.
Yeah, that could be really interesting play, considering you still also have to go and level. I don't know if Gambit has any more Sirens. I know he used one, and he also found one.
Yeah, and there were two in the starter kit, so he could do two more King Ryu fights, and that would probably be enough. Like, I don't even know if that'll be enough to get Palom to nuke if he wants to go with the party that he's got right now.
I don't think it would.
I kind of like getting I kind of like getting Cecil into the party. I actually kind of like getting both of them in, but we'll see what Gambit chooses. It kind of depends on what he's most comfortable with as well.
Orion, we all feel that way. Anytime we can see Ogopogo go down in one hit, we all look for that.
And indeed, he does take the Paladin, so that makes sense. We'll see if he opts to take the Bard as well.
Thought about it.
Whoa, he did. That was the pump fake right there. Oh, and then the return.
The double
yes,
fake.
I want this anchor.
Has 2 sirens left, so that is definitely enough to get Cecil into the 30s, which I feel like he would be all right.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Whoa.
Oh.
That was. I'll let you know, I was not expecting that.
I was not either. So, 2 sirens. If Gambit is planning to do gold dragons, so that's going to be, and it gets the life glitches off and all that, probably going to go buy a couple of hourglasses right now.
Yeah, I imagine doing a shopping trip to Evelyn or going to the underground.
He's checking Feymarch for more sirens.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately they're not there.
Yes, because he hasn't been to the Feymarch yet. So he's been to Tamra, he's been to Dwarf. So this is the last shop that he has available to him. Hoping for a pass there. Unfortunately, just another ninja sword.
And that's an interesting thing. Since Gambit hasn't been there, didn't have the opportunity to pick up the elixir like Nightdew did earlier. And that might have been the difference between keeping Fusia versus keeping Porum.
Yeah. Oh, has a reset. That's a heads up play. Now he's gonna have to redo that cutscene to get Cecil.
Yeah,
is able to go all the way back to where he had the foo. That's unfortunate, but I think that's the right play right there. You have to go back and get foo, since you only have those 2 sirens available.
Yeah, if he could get as much levels as he could on Porum, then I think that makes a lot more sense. But the fact that there weren't those sirens for sale, he just had to his priorities changed considerably there.
Yeah, unfortunately, you'd probably need to get Porum to around 52, 53 with the gear that Porum has. Now, she has a very naturally high growth in terms of her magic defense. But you definitely, with this party setup, you probably want her in the 52, 53, and she's not going to get there with just the 2 sirens.
Yeah, unfortunate for Gambit has to go through all this again as well. Yeah, this game or this seed threw a lot of curveballs at our runners. Both of them having some real difficult times at different places.
Yeah, and to have our runners converge on that hook route, even with the difference in overworld pathing, Nightdew getting that early defense sword really sped him through a number of fights that Gambit was able to get through, just not as quickly. But I believe in terms of attempts on, Magus Sisters, Gambit was only about 5 minutes behind at that point.
Yeah,
And
but that mom bomb really was the big hurdle for Gambit to get past in this seed.
Yeah, and the way Gambit routed this would have, I feel like, been pretty close if he had gotten through the mom bomb as quickly as Nightdew did, because going to the moon, getting those levels, it just didn't. Rando's gonna rando. Unfortunately for Gambit, that Cecil was behind that tower key.
Yeah, you're not right, because that routing was, in a lot of ways, it kind of, with your hindsight being 2020, a more efficient way of doing this seed than what Nightdew did. However, the fact that it did take him so much longer to get through that means that it just didn't. It wasn't enough to catch up.
Yeah, and it really would have come down to whenever Gambit would, if Gambit would have checked the Odin basement.
Oh, so this is interesting. He wants to keep Porum for her MP pool, I'm guessing, and then Fusia because he doesn't have access to the sirens. He might want to go and buy that elixir anyways, now that he knows where they're at. Or go to the sealed cave?
Doors. Yep, Gambit is going to be doing some doors. It looks like he's getting Cecil geared up. He's going to kill some doors to get some experience. Maybe not feeling the 2 sirens are enough.
Well, we'll see how this goes. This is a grind that you don't see all the time. Basically, every door other than that first one that we just went through, in this dungeon, if you turn on the encounters in Free Enterprise, will be a trap door, and it gives a pretty significant amount of experience. Now, it will auto-kill one of your characters, so if you want that character to get the experience, you just need to make sure you resurrect them before the end of the fight.
Yeah, and there are ways to do this fight so you can reflect that disrupt back onto the door, or you could just power overwhelming it and kill it before it transforms. Looks like having food just knocked this out.
And you see 62,000 XP a pop is a pretty good amount of experience. And when you consider that there's a lot of doors in here, you can get quite a bit of a grind on it here as well.
Yeah, Cecil already up to level 25. Said probably only needs about 4, maybe 5 doors, I think, to get into like 40. Fortunately, I believe Porum's going to need quite a bit more than that if you're wanting her to be able to, safely survive a couple of these big bangs.
Yeah, I think Porum's survivability is a bit more of a luxury. I think Fu's going to do the bulk of the healing in the Zerum's fight, but yeah. Another interesting thing is if Gambit decides to go all the way down to the bottom to see if that is the pass as well.
Yeah, that would be an interesting call to go all the way looking for the pass. Considering how many other checks are still available, I would be more inclined if I was going to be doing this door grind to just grind and get out. I already have the crystal in hand. The path is pretty clear. But, if the pass is down here, that would save a whole lot of time. We'll see how many doors he decides to take, though, as he heads on down.
Yeah, what's going to be the target? Does he want to get to the 28 agility for Cecil? That's a break point as far as how fast Zeramus goes. If you get to level 28, then Zeramus will be at his slowest speed relative to your party. So if he can't have like that really low level or the curse string to manipulate to an agility like in the single digits or something, which is probably the most advantageous, the next best thing is often to have somebody with a 28 agility be the anchor for the party. And that just gives you, you know, if Zeramus is slower, then that's good for everybody.
Yep, and the doors continue to fall. The levels continue to rise.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting to think, like, what's the target for Gambit? What's he looking for? Is he looking for a certain agility? It might be that with levels with Cecil that he's looking for. Is it a certain HP threshold that he wants to get that he feels comfortable with surviving big bangs? And maybe that's something that he's shooting for with Forum. I think those are kind of the sort of metrics that you go on when you're dealing with grinding like this and determining exactly how many doors to take.
Yep, getting the party now low. Most people have taken, everybody but Cecil has taken a disrupted, looks like, considering Cecil's still at that 600 HP that he walked into the Steel Cave with.
Yeah, the level 1 600 HP. There is white on Forum.
Yeah, that is a healthily leveled Forum now, has white. I can never remember if she gets life 2 after white or not. Hey, there's Cecil finally gets some comeuppance. Everybody's been eaten by a door at this point. Ooh, not what you want to see right here.
Oh, made it through. That was brutal.
Yeah, that. There's only, I think, 2 doors that can turn into a yellow dragon, and all the rest of them are mana cores. And that, unfortunately, was the yellow dragon door.
Yeah, but the other side is even the Manticore doors are going to be pretty difficult, considering everybody's at really low HP from being revived, and the Manticore does have an AOE blaze attack that it does as well. So probably not as scary as the Yellow Dragon, but still a threat if they were not going to be able to get through the door without transforming it. Oh, and here comes Eddie. Okay.
Now it won't be quite as, if he decides to ditch the food. That Forum is pretty well leveled.
There's that, but it's also like you might have wanted the extra healer just for that grind as well. So I think either one makes sense.
So one other thing to note too that I'm not sure a lot of people realize, this also heals you.
Yeah, not that Gambit really needs that, considering you also get a free heal at Zeramus, but that is something that is good to know as well.
Yeah, if you're trying to route things out, and you've come up from like the Fey March or whatever, you need a heal and you've already done Fabul or a couple other spots, that is something to keep in mind, that turning in a Sand Ruby does give you a full heal for you to, on your way.
Now, is he going to buy an elixir or?
Heading to Tamra. I did not catch what all was in the Tamra item shop.
There's silk webs in here?
Oh, those were in Evelyn.
Well, I mean, there's a possibility that they could be in more than one, but it does look like he's doing setup for the fight right now. Ooh.
I believe we have some memeing going on.
Yeah, something like this. Go Knight. I'm thinking somebody's going to be named Dew.
Having some good sportsmanship here. Wishing his opponent well as he moves on further into the bracket.
Beat Dingley.
I don't know if we mentioned that earlier. Nightdew is moving on to go up against the number 2 ranked person in the bracket, a Stone Dingley.
So no shopping, just memeing for Gambit there.
Yeah, at this point has already seen the dot done, so gonna be heading to the moon, gonna be walking the path, and we will see how he does in his Zeromus fight.
Yeah, I believe Gambit is probably similar level, but we'll have 3 Zerkers going instead of the 2 that we saw on Nightdew's side. So I think it's probably going to go a little bit faster than Nightdew's fight, but doesn't have the resiliency of the 3 white mages that Nightdew had in his fight.
So while Gambit is making the walk down through the lunar subterranean, do want to do one last shout out to our restream team, Auska424, doing the restreaming, who rolled this the seed. I'm not going to add any adjectives to it or not. Also, thank you to Scythe Marshall for doing the tracking and lighting up the buttons for us, keeping us honest. Also, for my co-commentator, Rex Roll. And if you haven't done so, please give our runners a follow. I'm sure they will appreciate the support.
Thanks, Pat Karma. Thanks for commentating this race with me as well.
Always a pleasure to work with you.
And so, yeah, here we are. We are nearing the end of this. And man, I just think, like, it's never good going into a race knowing that you're a game behind. And just, like, it must have felt so bad after going up against that mom bomb and just not having things work out the way that you want them to. But I must say that ever since then, like, Gambit's play has been really good, and just watching what's happened after that, as like, there were a couple times where, like, there was a missed life glitch, or a character might have been missing some XP at a boss early, and those all contributed to what made that mom bomb be so difficult. But everything that's gone after that has been going really well for Gambit, and it's been just a pleasure to watch the second half of his run. And here he goes through the bottom layers of the lunar core.
Pass all the boxes. Pass go. Collect $0 because there's no money in these chests.
Ooh, that's something that I do so often. I'm walking down to through the lunar core, and suddenly I'm like, wait, I've got an apple in my inventory. Maybe I should use it.
You want that Porum to be as healthy as possible. Sure, her HP growth is abysmal.
All right, Gambit. Take this monster down.
The names all lined up. It's almost like you planned it.
And we can see Gambit picking up Edward there. You know, yeah, he's a good anchor, but he's really doing it just out of respect for our restreamer today.
Unfortunately, probably going forward, Edward won't get as much love as he got in the Swiss with that spoon flag off. Will probably be relegated to a lot of anchoring duties due to his also poor HP growth. Does have some great agility growth though, so and has a number of niche fights. So we'll probably still see him, just not as often as we did.
And Cecil already starting to go burr here.
Ooh, takes the counter nuke on the Paladin though.
I hit Porum all set to cure him up, so should be fine.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get all three of these of his fighters zerked up and swinging, clogging this queue and getting as many hits in as possible. As long as Porum doesn't take a high roll, should have this in the bag.
All right, the three fighters are now berserked, and so now it's just let them do their punching and Porum there for the healing, and that's about all we've got left. I would imagine there's a possibility we'll see one more Big Bang. There's also a possibility that the next thing we'll see from Zeramus is rocks falling.
Yeah, the damage going out here now is pretty consistent. Probably going to be hitting the refill here any second. If you are unfamiliar with the Zeromus fight, Zeromus has a lot of HP, but due to the limitations of the programming, the developers can only program about 60,000. So if Zeromus takes direct damage after, I believe it's 45,000, he counters with an HP refill and goes right back to full health. So with these Berserk fighters, we are definitely going to hit that, and then we will continue on to getting to the Meteo phase, which means that Zeromus has about 12,000 HP left, and that's what Jan, Kane, and Cecil are just going to try and pound as hard as they can to get through this.
Now, this Big Bang that's hitting right now should be a full-powered one. We'll see if Porum is able to survive it, and she does. That means recovery is going to be very easy with the Cure 4.
Yeah, I doubt we see another one now, and I think we're in phase 2, so this will probably not be a black hole. There's the rocks. Oh, hopefully some touches. Oh.
I think we're good though.
Yeah, I think so too. There's the flash.
There we go.
And we're joined by Gambit. GG's.
GG's.
How you feeling?
Yeah. I know exactly where this seed took the turn on me. And it was Porum missing that life glitch in that Mad Ogre chest fight. That's where everything went south. And it just compounded into a 30 minutes of Maggot Sisters and Mom Bomb. And that right there is the race. 100%.
Yeah, we were talking about that with Nightdew. You were Nightdew got to the Maggot Sisters first, but I believe you were probably only about 5 minutes behind him at that point.
Yeah, that was a rude hook route. And when I saw the Mom Bomb originally, when I first went down and picked up the character down there, the Palom, I knew I was going to want Quake. I knew for a fact, it's like, before I come down here, I need Quake. But I was also, again, a game down, I was already playing gamble mode. I was trying to do as little looting as possible. I was running into checks that I probably should have ran headlong into, aka that Malvalis at Fabul, the first attempt that I made. But yeah, again, just that Mag Ogre chest and missing that one life glitch. I was like, okay, you know what? We'll see. We'll try it. We'll go with it. And it just did not work out at all.
Yeah, a number of the random encounters you took after they're trying to get Palom were just, board face AI was not kind to you in those at all.
No, it was not.
Well, the good news is after you did get there, your routing afterwards actually went really well. And in a lot of cases, the checks that you were doing were faster than what we saw from Nightdew's. But he just had so much of an advantage from that point that you weren't going to be able to catch up. There just wasn't enough time to be made up, unfortunately.
Yeah, once I finally got underground, and then again immediately rolled that pan check, got the Darkness Crystal, I was like, okay, look, if it's underground, I've lost. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
Way that Nightdew hasn't been down here already. It hasn't got at least a 15, if not more, minute lead on me down here. If it's underground, I've lost. I've got to go moon and I've got to hope. And I took one look at that K-value fight and I'm like, I remember Odin from last race that Nightdew and I had. He was here last time. I'm not touching this right now. And then decided, let's go top down, find out goal bets. I'm like, that's rude, but doable. And I got through it first try. Unfortunately, it did not pay out. I made out with an X-Cal, which is great if I could, rip it apart and then give it to Kukol. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. And at that point, it was like, okay, let's go the rest of the way down. Ribbon Room was free, which was a huge boon. Baron Key, I knew immediately was an objective with the dolls. So I was like, okay, let's roll down to the Masamune spot, see what's there. It was Kaipo Guards. I'm like, okay, cool, that's free. Let's just go ahead and pick up this XP. Hey, look, it's Sand Ruby. That's another character check. Cool. So that leaves just 2 spots on the moon. Let's bail. Let's chase this Baron Key for the objective and see if I still have a chance. And I was defeating Calbrina about the same time that Nightdew was not dunning. So
yeah, unfortunately, Nightdew did the Dwarf Castle check really early, which got him that Cecil. He had the Cecil before the Foo, I believe. Or no, it was after. Sorry, he had Foo going up the tower.
Yeah, but I also want to point out that in both of our races, there were no sirens to be found. That was a thing.
Yeah, we were wondering how long you were going to do the doors, and then once the yellow dragon happened, and we had our answer. But what was it? Were you looking for a specific level, or were you gonna, what was your plan with the doors?
That door was actually planning to be my last door anyway, and then unfortunately, just bad RNG getting the dragon, and everybody's at low health, so only Cecil survived, and I knew Cecil could take it out with 1 hit, so I wasn't worried about a wipe. But I was like, okay, that was gonna be my last door anyway. Board AI says no one but Cecil gets experience here. Okay, whatever, let's go.
Now, we saw in Nightdew's spoiler log, the Adamant was in the Odin throne. Was that a check that you were considering at any point, or?
Once the done came in, I think that went out the window. Ironically enough, seeing the not done, it caused me to relax. I was like, okay, at this point, I've lost. It's over. There's no rush. There's no sense of urgency anymore. Let's just kind of calm down. Let's go where I normally would check, which is, again, I've got the entire underground open to me. I haven't done any checks down here. Let's just start kind of slowly kind of working my way around and see what I find and see if I can see where Nightdew meet me at. And unfortunately, it was just a situation if he got the one item on the moon that he needed faster than me, just because of all the wipes I took into the hook route.
Yeah, and that was actually his first check. Was that White Spear Altar?
It's something that I think he's noticed as well as I have. Top of Tower and White Spear Altar seem to pay out a lot in this flag set, and it's completely random, but they seem to pay. So they're value checks lately, and it'll be interesting to see if runners, as we go further into the brackets, make those kind of checks early, and just see, hey, this seems to pay off more often than not. Let's take a gamble. Let's make this check.
So, unfortunately, this is going to be the last we see of you in the Lali-Ho League as a runner. So now that you're done with that, did you have any final thoughts about the event that you've participated in?
I'm just happy to have gotten this far. My goal overall was just 3-3 in the Swiss stage. So to make 4-2 and to make brackets in the first place was farther than I thought I'd get. I would have liked to take at least one game from Nightdew, but Nightdew is a very, very good opponent. I honestly, back in Zima's zone, when I stole the win from him, I thought for sure that was just a stroke of luck. So he pretty much handed it to me pretty handily in these two games. So probably proves that. But I'm happy to have got this far. I'm excited to see the rest of the tournament. There is no bad runners in the field of 38, and it's going to be interesting to see who advances from where, because again, there's really no room for upsets. No one person favorite over the other. It's any one person could win at any given time, and it's just going to be crazy to watch.
Yeah, it's always.
Go ahead.
It's been excellent sitting here in the booth watching these races. Everybody's been having great runs through here, and it's been great to see some new faces here in the top, in these brackets that we didn't have in like 3-miss or whatever. So it's been a pleasure to watch everybody advancing and getting better.
And GG's Gambit, I'm sure we're going to see you on the Restream team in future races. And like I told the chat earlier, I'm sure we're going to see you racing again. If not in this, then whenever there's the push B to jump race going forward.
Oh, of course. As soon as community races and clubs come back, I'll be participating in those like I normally do, and doing as much behind the scenes work as I can. This community is just one of the best things in the world, and I love it so much. But thank you so much, Rex and Bad Karma, for doing the commentary. Sky to Marshall for stepping and doing tracking. I know we had a last minute substitution, so thank you for being willing to. Asuka, I'd asked for mercy on this seed. You didn't give it to me, but it was still fun. I appreciate it. I love you very much. Everyone, have a great morning, as it is morning East Coast now. And I will see you guys next time I see you. And Nightdew, good luck against Dingley. I'm rooting for you, man.
All right. Well, that was our runner-up in tonight's race, Gambit. Make sure you give both Gambit and Nightdew a follow. They are great runners of this great game. Gambit just listed off our team, but one more time, big shout-outs to Asuka, Scythe Marshall, and my co-commentator, Bad Karma. Thank you for joining me on this race. And we are going to be joining Couch23, who's doing the No Credit Warp speed run of Final Fantasy IV, the vanilla version. And thank you all for joining us. And don't spoil this race, even though it's not another Lali-Ho League race. The chat over there might want to come back and watch this one. So hope you all have a good night.
Yep, everybody have a good night. Thank you to Rex Roll. It's always a pleasure to come here with you. I look forward to it again.